Wakarimashita. Oh, yeah, sorry, I did not see y'all there. Sorry, I was practicing my Japanese on Duolingo because Genshin Impact was having a collaboration with Duolingo, probably because they're like, yeah, let's make sure everybody knows another language so we don't gotta deal with English voice actors anymore. All jokes aside, this really made me want to talk about gacha game collabs because collaborations and gacha games are like meat with potatoes. Like, you don't get a good gacha game without a collaboration later on. It's basically supposed to be like the peak point of the gacha game. Like, everybody, whenever the collaboration happens, people log in. Even if people quit the game, they always end up coming back if they like the collaboration. They're like, let me just check it out, make sure that if I do come back, it's 2026. Damn, it's 2026 now. If I do come back in 2028, I at least got my free one in my collab. And you would also get to feel how the collaboration characters fit into the story, fit into the universe, interact with all the other characters. But nowadays, it just feels like a lot of the collaborations are super ultra omega lazy, and the companies are just like, yo, did we get a cash cut from this? GG, call the handshake, shake my hand, buddy. And that's immediately what I thought about when I saw the Genshin Impact Duolingo collab, because I was like, who asked for something like this, bro? This is dead ass them not caring about what they're playing. Like, all their players are usually asking for other things like fixing quality of life in the game, and they decided to reward you with the Genshin Impact Duolingo. Practice your motherfucking Spanish collab? Like, I already got one annoying motherfucking bird chirping at me all the fucking time in the game, bro. I don't need another one that's green this time. And for what? A name card, 60 primo gems, and probably a recipe that I'm never gonna use later in the game? That's what they call a collab, and that's not a collab. That's literally just a marketing gimmick. And it's always just confusing to me because Genshin Impact is the most successful gacha game still to this day. Like, look at the gacha revenue charts. They just came out. They're still one of the most successful gacha games out there. They don't need to be this lazy. And if the first thing you're thinking about is, wait a minute, Cosmos, we're getting our real Genshin Impact collaboration announcement in 2026. In 2026, we're gonna get a real Genshin Impact collaboration announcement with Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is gonna come to Genshin Impact. It's gonna make so much sense. It's gonna make so much sense. We're gonna get Tanjiro doing the Sun form. We're gonna get Nezuko doing Blood Demon Art. It's gonna be peak. Cosmos is gonna be peak. Let me remind you, because I know that you forgot, because everybody forgot about the fact that Genshin Impact already had a character collaboration with Horizon Zero Dawn when they put Aloy in the game. Allegedly put Aloy in the game, because a lot of motherfuckers don't even remember that. That was super back in the day. That was by far one of the most blatant, and it was crazy because I feel like it should have been clear as day back in the day. But back in the day, we were all blinded by the happiness, joy, and wonders of Genshin Impact first launching. So Aloy coming in the game was blindsided. We were like, oh, we get even more free stuff? But in reality, Aloy was one of the most blatant, uninspired, soulless cash grabs we've seen to date. They just dropped her into the game, and like, nobody asked for her. And for the people, the very few people that probably did ask for her, suffered because she was not enjoyable to play. There was no story quest, no event build up, no nothing. They just gave you the character like, yep, here you go, Aloy, bro. Have some fun with this 5-star that pretty much plays like a 3.7 star. Not even a 4-star, by the way. This character's garbage. If you use him, low-key, you're trolling. By the way, I do know there are people out there that do play Aloy. There are teams out there that support Aloy and make her do a lot of damage. I just still think you're trolling if you use her. On top of that, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure her weapon was also locked to only PlayStation players. So if you played on mobile, you were suffering, bro. Something like that is honestly just disgusting. For one, the IP that gave them the rights to use Aloy in the game, and two, the fans who really actually like Horizon Zero Dawn and Aloy. And if you thought Hoyoverse was gonna stop there, nah, bro, they wanted to shake your head one more time with Honkai Star Rail. When they announced the Fate collab, everybody pretty much lost their minds. They're like, oh my God, a real anime collab in a real 3D anime game? No, and they have billions of dollars to use in their budget. It's over. It's over. We won. We won. We won. That's the shit we got. The biggest chance that we had so far for the anime gacha gaming collaboration landscape to be redefined was completely destroyed with that shit, bro. That could have laid the path for every other game in the future if it was done just even 20% better, bro. But this shit that they did with the fake collab literally killed any chance I had to believe in the Hoyoverse to make a good collaboration, bro. The NPCs have no flavor. The characters aren't even voice acted in every language. And like the story within it felt like the company basically went on a lunch break and was like, hey, yo, Loki, let's do that in our story. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do it. And you know why they do it? Because they're sitting in their $1 million chairs each, by the way. Each $1 million chair is like, huh, whatever we do, they gonna play it. So why even bother? Because they gonna play it. So it was super low budget, uninspired, and they did not give a fuck. And you can easily tell it was uninspired, especially whenever you compare it to the collaboration like XIII had with Freerin. Even as a 2D game with a lower budget, XIII put in the work. All of them, Freerin, Fern, and Stark, didn't just look like characters. You actually felt like they made sense in the world. Freerin's kit was obviously one of the most powerful in the game's history, which if you watch Freerin, it makes complete sense. And the event gave you a legitimate reason to care about her. It was like an actual celebration of Freerin being in XIII, not just a soulless cash grab. And if you're there like, oh, well, it's only XIII, so clearly it's not the norm for gacha games to have good collaborations, then you look at Reverse 1999 with an Assassin's Creed collab they did. They integrated Ezio and Cassandra into a time travel narrative that actually made sense for their world building. They gave away a maxed out character for free and implemented mechanics that changed the way you play the game. So it felt very refreshing. It proves that even a smaller studio with a smaller budget can put their heart and soul into a collab and make it be cherished by the community. So imagine if they had the budget that Hoyoverse had. And that's when we get to Wuthering Waves with the Cyberpunk collab. And yes, because of that random ass Sonic Persona collab, I'm about to glaze the fuck out this game. So if you don't want that, click the fuck out this video. Because it feels like these people really understand how to deal with an IP being introduced into their game. The Sonic Persona collab literally came out of nowhere. And you're like watching the live stream, you're like, what the fuck? They just dropped this shit out of nowhere, didn't even talk about nothing? Maybe this shit not even gonna be that good. And then whenever they started to implement it and get into detail with what was going in that collab, we got the music, we got the stickers. It felt like it actually fit in the universe. It literally changed the exploration of the game to make it feel like an insane customization aspect to the entire new region they introduced. And this, honestly, this collaboration was the perfect way to lay the framework for what they can do in the future, because this makes me feel like they're gonna have a lot more collaborations than just Persona and Sonic, like a lot more mini collaborations to go with the Expedition bike and all the things they can add with that. Like they can add different music. Imagine if they just added Devil May Cry music, bro, just because they already got that shit in PCR. So imagine they just added in Devil May Cry music. You just on your bike listening to Devil May Cry music, bro. So on top of that, imagine whenever the Cyberpunk collab comes out, let's first of all forget about the characters. Forget about the characters that we got in Cyberpunk right now. Do you really not think they're gonna add this song
So get away
while you're riding around as Lucy, bro? And it's just so beautifully implemented, because the way that they're adding all this stuff into the game actually makes sense. Like they're not just forcing a little Persona event into there, they're making it actually be used throughout the entirety of 3.0 so that you can go into 4.0 like next year, be like, damn, yo, I missed that shit from 3.0. Let me go back to the reason and just ride around on my bike and listen to
I'm a sharpshooter. Masquerade.
like they're literally making something that you'll miss whenever you move on from it. That you have to go back and experience it. That's the way you implement a collaboration into a gacha game. And that just makes me think, if they just sprinkle that shit in there without even any warning or hesitation, imagine everything they're cooking up for their Cyberpunk collab with all the premeditated marketing they've been implementing so far, everything that they've been working on with this collaboration in this game. It's been almost a year now. It's been like 6 months now. So you know they cooking up something with that shit. And then as soon as you get to 3.0, you see Lahai Roy and you see the futuristic tech that it got, it feels like Cyberpunk is going to fit perfectly perfectly into this universe. And that's what people genuinely thought with the Fate collab in Honkai Star Rail, but they dropped the ball. But in this game, it feels like they're not gonna drop the ball because they haven't really dropped that many balls. And they dropped a couple balls. They definitely dropped a couple balls, but they didn't drop that many balls recently, and they just like 2.7. Galbreda fit into the story perfectly out of nowhere. So now you know Lucy gonna be in the game and she's gonna fit into the story quite perfectly, because who knows, she might be in the rest of the 3.0 story. And then you think about the combat system, you can already see how everything is gonna fit into Wuthering Waves. Like you can already see Lucy with her wires having some crazy animations. Like think about Camellia, literally like a next upgraded animation power creep Camellia coming into the game. That's probably what Lucy's gonna be like, futuristic. It's just very clear to me that the way they designed their combat to be extremely dynamic means that they can do basically whatever they want with any character they implement into a game. Not just a turn-based animation like Saber, which the animation in the Honkai Star Rail does look amazing. But whenever you feel like you're actually doing that shit, bro, you're not just watching it, but you're making that shit happen and switching to other characters at the same time, implementing their playstyles with Lucy. Imagine Lucy with Cartetia, bro. Do I need to say any more? The point is, Hoyo Games, Gacha Game collaborations are hot fucking garbage. But I think Kuro Games is gonna fix that shit and lay a path for the future 3D Gacha games to do collaborations just like they do, and we're gonna have high expectations. Everybody has high expectations for the Cyberpunk collab. I think they're going to be met with a very delicious meal, and everybody else afterwards is gonna have to follow suit, or they're just gonna be destroyed and implode. So when we're in 3.4 or 3.5 and I'm there in Wuthering Waves playing as Lucy from Cyberpunk, I'm gonna be looking over there at Hoyoverse players practicing their Spanish and Japanese because they're not getting no more English voice actors in the game.